Governance amongst indigents of Abia State has become a subject of intense public interest with the approach of the next general elections. 8 years on the saddle for the incumbent governor, Dr. Ngozika, has been attracting mixed reviews, especially in regard to the maintenance of infrastructure around the state and the delivery of fundamentals of the good life to its citizens. Dr. Ngozi Gladys Johnson-Ogbuneke is the Social Democratic Party's governorship candidate in Abia State, and she joins me now to look at governance issues in the state and why she thinks it will be her lot to bring succor to the citizens of Abia State if she's elected governor. Many thanks for being here. Thank you for joining me on Newsday this afternoon.
Thank you and good afternoon.
Good afternoon. As the gubernatorial candidate for the SDP and being a woman yourself, could you go through for us the mandate and manifesto you plan on standing on if you win the governorship elections for next year? What can Abia indigents look forward to?
Thank you so very much. The citizens of Abia State of Nigeria, they should expect from me and would be expecting from me a total transformation of Abia State in the areas of good road and accessible road, in the areas of education to the children, in the areas of healthcare workers, as well as access to healthcare services in the state. They will also expect, the stories about packages of arrears of teachers and of pensioners being owed over 4 years. They should expect that to be paid off within the first 18 months of my administration as the next governor of Abia State. Apart from that, you know that Abia State has a very thriving city that was once the economic hub of West Africa, so to speak, and that is Abia. And the Abia, with its area market, was well known. But in the recent 8 years and the past 31 years, Abia State and Abia itself have gone backward. So they will also expect and will see a total transformation and building up of the area market in Abia and of building up of Abia as a city, making it clean and providing closed circuit televisions in order to also monitor the safety and order of each community and of each city in Abia State. Now, when it rains, we don't have good drainage system. And at times, people fall into these drains by accident and they meet their end. So we are going to make sure we have closed system of drainages together with the good interstate and intrastate road systems working. Abia State actually does not look like a proper state. It looks like a glorified village. And the people of Abia State will expect total rebuilding of the streets and planning of Abia State as a modern city so that they will see government and governance coming to the people. From the Social Democratic Party, we have a concept to bear the burdens and the social burdens of the people of the land here in Abia State. So you look at homelessness, we're going to make sure we build low-cost housing so that people can be properly housed. You look at police and policing. Yes, police in Nigeria is a national project, but as a state, we're also going to inject some investment into police and policing so that the prisons, police system, and the civil rights of the people are taken care of. Now, you talk about international investment. It's when you get the local situations working in order, then you'll be all able to now invite international interest, investment, money into the community in the areas of tourism, culture, as well as artwork. Abia State has not done well in these areas. But I am Apostle Dr. Ngozika, Gladys Johnson-Ogbuneke. God's willing, if I'm the next governor of Abia State, we're going to attract, the international interest there. And with international investment, you also see economic growth into the life of Abia State citizens. You look at agriculture, we'll grow more food. We'll reactivate the old sector of, farmhouses during the time of the blessed memory of Dr. Michael Opara. And other than that, I'll also be activating mechanized farming and mechanized agriculture in Abia State so that they can proudly grow more food. It's a total package in my manifesto, and I'm looking forward to doing my best to serve the fatherland. Thank you.
Doctor, that sounds like a robust plan, but for those who might be listening in, they would be wondering where the funds would come from to implement some of these better ideas that you have thought about. And I know you discussed attracting foreign investment, but we do know what the international economic situation is, not just in Nigeria or Africa, but world over. Everyone is guarding themselves because of the pressures that everyone is feeling globally. What financial pipeline could you say that you would be using in order to get some of these projects off the ground?
The Nigerian person is a hardworking person. The Igbo woman is also a hardworking person. And other than, looking at what they call as federal allocation, we'll also be activating local trade and industry in Abia State. So when you give soft loans, I've said this a couple of times, to the small-scale businesses, then they will be able to activate their products. They'll be able to activate the work they're doing. And with them making money, say like in Ariara, Abba Market, then they will also be able to bring in money into the government coffers. Now, we also have internal generated revenues that will come from local taxes, that will come from local businesses. But you first of all make their working environment enabling so that they can also produce and bring in money into the government. Other than that, you look about, producing and sticking out international bond, which you buy in the name of Abia State, and which in time will also yield money and revenue into the state. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Ethnic and religious polarization are quite hot button topics for the last couple of months and presumably for the next few months until the elections are conducted and everything dies down. In the East, unfortunately, we see, well, all countrywide, but for the most part, we've seen the skirmishes of unrest in the East. There have been sit-at-home orders. There have, the trial of Nnamdi Kanu is still in lieu. We are wondering, is security an issue that is part of your mandate to tackle for Abia State? And if you have any creative ideas as to keeping the situation safe until the elections are conducted and even post-elections.
Thank you. And let us say something about Nnamdi Kanu, whom you've mentioned. To the best of my knowledge, the law and the legal courts, they have passed a judgment, and that is for the unconditional release of Nnamdi Kanu. We are waiting for that to be done. I must commend the people who are part of the IPOB, because in all honesty, in Abia State, they've been conducting themselves well. And also in the general parts of the southeastern states. Although Nnamdi Kanu has not been absolutely released, from prison or from incarceration or from any form of hold up, there have not been outward demonstration or aggression because of it. And for it, I thank them, because they are now giving chance for the due processes to be followed and that Nnamdi Kanu should be released unconditionally as ruled by the court. Now, in terms of security during the election, prior to the election, as well as post-election period, I have participated in a number of peace accord and conferences. First of all, with the police commissioner in Abia State, they organized a widespread peace accord meeting and gathering of all the candidates in Abia State. And recently also with the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN. And we also had the Archbishop of Umuahia Methodist Diocese, the very Reverend, Most Reverend Upoko, and he was the one that conducted that on the 9th of December. So there's been a projection, even in my talks and also in the talks of some other candidates, that we desire to have a peaceful, fair, and non-violent electioneering period, as well as election itself. INEC has been involved in all these peace accord. The police have been involved. All other security agents have been involved. And to the best of my knowledge, things have been peaceful and going well in Abia State. Other than occasional people damaging other people's billboards or posters, there have not been any physical altercations or squabbles between political parties. And I commend the people for this. And I pray that they continue in the same way. Now, post-election, if I become the next governor of Abia State, my desire for Abia State is to see that the whole place is computerized and that the people are also well recorded, being digitalized up to their local communities.
Dr. Johnson, I sincerely apologize for interrupting you. I have many more questions to ask you, especially being a female in the gubernatorial race, but we have run out of time. We will definitely have to have you back on the show to discuss more about your ideas for Abia State. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, Dr. Ngozika. Gladys Johnson-Ogbuneke, the SDP gubernatorial candidate for Abia State.